अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ और उम्मीद करती हूँ कि आप सब भी ठीक होंगे इंशाअल्लाह। और आज फिर अपनी बुक के साथ मैं हाज़िर हुई हूँ, द फॉरगॉटन इमाम इंशाअल्लाह। जैसे कि हम चैप्टर 5 और 6 पे हैं। हमने कल चैप्टर 5 शुरू किया था पर कंप्लीट नहीं कर सकी। आज इंशाअल्लाह हम चैप्टर 5 और 6 ट्राई करेंगे कि कवर हो जाए हमसे इंशाअल्लाह। और कल हमने 5th चैप्टर थोड़ा सा पढ़ा था और आज इंशाअल्लाह उसी को कंटिन्यू करते हैं। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद वअज्जिल फ़रजहुम। हम इमाम ज़माना के ज़हूर के लिए दुआ करते हैं इंशाअल्लाह, अल्लाह ताला उनके ज़हूर में तजील फरमाए, आमीन इंशाअल्लाह। चलते हैं अपनी बुक की तरफ। Now that we have established that we must first learn who the Imam is, and not knowing this matter will deem one to the extremely deficient in faith. Those now being redundant a believer, we must now look at further narration of the holy Imam and or intertwines into this. The following is the powerful narration is which the Imam speak of the Shias. एक और हदीस हम अब यहाँ पे ऐड करेंगे। A number of our people have narrated from Ahmad ibn Muhammad, from Ibn Abu Nasir, who has said the following: I asked Rida, are those who reject you from your own people and other such people the same? जी, हदीस जो हमने स्टार्ट की है वो है a number of our people have narrated from Ahmad ibn Muhammad from Ibn Abu Nasir, who has said the following: I asked Ar-Rida, are those who reject you from your own people and those such people the same? He replied, those of our own people who would reject us, our leadership with divine authority, would be considered as having committed twice as much sin and the good deed from our own people who are worries would also be considered as of twice as much value. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. Survival aspects can be looked at in regard to the above narration and how we Shia must implement this within our lives. The companion begins by asking the Imam about those who reject them. The companions not only inquires about the non-Shias who reject the Imams, but also about the Shias who reject and do not fully acknowledge the divine authority of the Masumeen. Allahu Akbar. Recently, there has been a disease within so-called Shia group who have begun to question the divine authority of the Imam. Allahu Akbar. कि अभी कुछ recently कुछ ऐसे शिया हुए हैं जो कि question उठा रहे हैं हमारे वक्त के इमाम पे। Allahu Akbar. कि who is our live Imam? These people are now commonly referred to as reformist. Regarding this, the Imam has stated that from their followers, those who reject the Imam have sins twice as much as the non-Shias who have rejected them. Allahu Akbar. Imam कह रहे हैं कि जो इमाम को मानते ही नहीं और जो लोग हमारे शिया हैं और इमाम को मानते हैं इसके बाद जानने के बावजूद उनका इनकार करते हैं तो उन्हें डबल गुनाह होगा उनके बदले में जो उनको नहीं जानते और उनको रिजेक्ट करते हैं। अल्लाह अकबर। Have more of the duty, Allahu Akbar. Our Shia have more of the duty than anyone else to wholeheartedly accept the divine authority and learning who our Imam truly is comes under this. अल्लाह अकबर कि हमारे शिया की ड्यूटी बनती है कि इमाम को जाने और उन्हें पहचानने की कोशिश करें. This narration applies today more than ever before due to the fact that many are beginning to doubt in the living Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad Fajr Farj. In later section there will be an analysis and a discussion regarding this also. The Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif is always from our side. However, it is still our duty to accept the divine leadership of the Imam. Not only does this means that we must accept the Imam as the rightful Imam, but we must solely pledge allegiance to the Imam. This includes rejecting any self-proclaimed leader or anyone claiming to have the authority of the Imam. Allahu Akbar. It has been established due to the first session of this narration that it is our job as Shia to commit completely and submit ourselves to our Imam. Allahu Akbar. Have we submit ourselves to Imam? This is a question we need to ask ourselves. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Thank you so much joining me. Just want to let you know I'm reading a book, The Forgotten Imam, on our 12th Imam, Imam Mahdi Zaman salam, is written by Sayyid Wasif Abdin Naqvi. If you search on YouTube, you will find his Mankabat, Noha, his page. Mashallah, he's reciting very nicely, very beautifully. I actually added his page on our my second video of this book, maybe on chapter 3rd and 4th when I was reciting that. I have added his page on my description. Please go and check out. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe and share my channel for more Islamic videos in Urdu and English, inshallah. Thank you for watching me. Thank you so much. And stay tuned. The Holy Imam then stated that good deeds from their followers will be considered twice as valuable as others and their deeds. Allahu Akbar. We see that indeed the Shia rejecting the Imam will carry the consequences of the double punishment, but we also see that submit to them and accepting them will result in double rewards. Through this, we see how merciful Allah is to the Shias in that we will be rewarded twofold simply by doing what we should be doing as the Shia of Ali alayhi salam. Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. We must ponder upon these narrations and adhere to what our Imam had instructed us to do. We must do good whilst recognizing the Imam, and as we are in the era of the 12th Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif, we must fully recognize and submit to him. अल्लाह अकबर. हमें जानना चाहिए कि हमारे इमाम कौन है और अल्लाह ताला कितना मर्सीफुल है कि उन्होंने हमारे लिए डबल अजर रखा है अगर हम अपने इमाम के कहे पे चलें और जैसा वो चाहते हैं हम वैसा करें. This should be the beginning in our journey towards creating an unbreakable connection between us and the Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif. Our Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif today is condescended. If I pronounce it wrong, sorry about that. And not believed in even by some of the Shias themselves. Allahu Akbar. Therefore, if we adhere to what has been said by the Masumin alayhi salam, we will stand out to the Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif as roses stand out. Oh, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, kitni pyari baat hai. If we adhere to what has been said by Masumin alayhi salam, we will stand out to the Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif as roses. Allahu Akbar, stand out amongst dead flower. Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, very beautifully. Will this not make our Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif smile? Allahu Akbar. अगर हम इमाम के कहे हुए रास्ते पे चलें और जैसा वो चाहते हैं वैसा करें तो हमारे शिया उनको ऐसे ही नज़र आएंगे जैसे कि रोज़ हैं. अल्लाहु अकबर, सुभान अल्लाह. और हमारे इमाम खुश होंगे अगर हम इमाम के कहे हुए पर अमल करेंगे जैसा वो चाहते हैं. अगर हम वैसा करें और अपने इमाम को जानें और उनके साथ कनेक्शन अपना बनाएं तो हमारा कनेक्शन स्ट्रॉन्ग होगा इंशाअल्लाह. Will this not make our Imam rejoice? After all our deeds reach the Imam. Allahu Akbar. बेशक हमारा ईमान है कि हमारे अमाल हमारे इमाम के पास जाते हैं. Just bear with me, please. Thank you for your wait. After all our deeds reach the Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif, and he is aware of what we say and do. Allahu Akbar. Do we think about that? That he is watching us all day, day and night. What we say, what we do, what we watch, everything, everything. Our Imam knows what we are doing all day, what we're watching, what is our hands doing, our eyes, even our tongue, what we're talking about, everything Imam knows about it. And is he happy with that? We need to think about it, and we need to ask this question to ourselves. One smile and one look from the Imam Ajalallah Fajr Sharif is enough to change our lives. Beshak, Subhanallah, Beshak. If he looks at us and smiles, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That's enough. That is enough. That thinking is enough for us to change our life. That Imam knows everything what we're doing. Due to this, we must begin to learn who our Imam is, and incorporated within this is the fact that we must recognize the Imam as the sole person with authority over us. Allahu Akbar. Beshak, he has authority over us. For if we do not, we will be no different to those who, okay, Allahu Akbar, we will be not different. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. We need to change our life. We need to think about it. If we don't do these stuff, then there's no difference between us and the other people who don't believe on Imam. Allahu Akbar. Let us begin our journey and make the Imam smile just once. Allahu Akbar. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. Myself, because it's a Jummah tomorrow, and Jummah is Imam Day. We need to read Imam Ziyarat as well, Imam Zamana Ziyarat, inshallah, and do dua that Imam will give us enough sabr, himmat, taqat, that we will try to change ourselves according to him. Before finishing this session, we will briefly take a look at some final hadiths which are intertwined into our discussions. A number of our people have narrated from Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Abu Nasr from Abu al-Hasan, who has said the following: the word of Allah, the most majestic, the most who stray more than one who follows his desire without guidance from God. Allahu Akbar. The Imam said, it referred to those who take their own opinion as their religious without an Imam from the Imam of guidance, leadership with divine authority. Allahu Akbar. In the narration presented above, the Imam has been asked about the Qur'anic verses regarding those who stray without guidance. The Imam replied by stating that the guidance talked about in the verses or the Aimas and their guidance. This again, in fact, there is a order to remain firm on the right path. We must take their guidance above our own opinions. Allahu Akbar. We should take guidance from Imam. We need to take हदायत. अल्लाह ताला हमें हदायत दे, हम इमाम आयमा से सीखें अपने ख्यालात में, अपने कामों में. हमें आयमा से रोशनी लेनी चाहिए, उनकी हदीस से रोशनी लेनी चाहिए. I ask the reader what is the best way to follow their guidance. It is by reading and researching upon the narrations and learning about our Imam and what they have taught us while also adhering to their commands. We cannot remain idle in today's world and go about our daily lives as if there is no greater cause and reason for our existence. As stated before, this applies to our living Imam Ajalallah Farju Sharif now more than ever, as we are in the era of our Imam. Allahu Akbar. And so it is incumbent upon us to do this. Let us powder upon these points. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. We need to take Hidayat from Imam. We need to take Hadith. We need to research about it. Callum. Hello, Callum. Thank you for joining me from England. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. That we need to think about it. We need to think about our Imam. We need to learn from him. Hi, you're local? Try hard. Hello. Hello, thank you for joining me. Please do subscribe my channel. And this is an Islamic channel. And we will learn about Islam more closely, inshallah, in upcoming session. Only 2 people. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now more than ever, as we are in this era of our Imam alayhi salam, and so it is important for us to do this. Let us ponder upon these points. We need to think about our Imam Zamana alayhi salam, what he wants from us. We will take a look at the final hadith in relation to the submission that we must have for the Imam alayhi salam, as this is a point that I have and will continue to emphasize in this book. This hadith is from Al-Kafi, volume 1, book 4, chapter 86, and hadith number 1. Narrated from Abdullah bin Abi Yafur. I said to Abu Abdullah, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, by Allah, if you split a pomegranate into 2 halves, and then you said that the first half is forbidden and the second half is permissible, halal, then I would testify that what you said is halal and what you said is haram. So the Imam said, may Allah have mercy upon you. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. This hadith is so beautiful that if Imam says something is no good for us, we need to believe on that. Even that thing is like is good. Like the hadith is about Imam says something is good. We need to believe on that. If something is bad, we need to believe what Imam's saying. This is the saying of this hadith. Like this above tradition showcases the loyal companions of the Imam. Allahu Akbar. Okay, this is the loyal companions of the Imam, such that even if the Imam was to inform him that one half of the pomegranate was halal and the other was haram, then he would have believed in this. The Imam in return sent his mercy upon Abdullah ibn Abi Yafur. This, my dear reader, it is the submission that the Imam wants from us too. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Hazrat Isa is a prophet from Allah, and we believe on him as well. Okay. The above tradition showcased the loyal companion of the Imam, Abdullah ibn Abi Yufar, showing complete submission to the Imam, such that even if the Imam was to inform him that one half pomegranate was halal and one is haram, then he would have believed in this. The Imam in return sent his mercy upon Abdullah. This, my dear reader, is the submission that the Imam wants from us too. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. This, my dear reader, is the submission that the Imam wants from us too. We must therefore follow in the footsteps of great companions like Abdullah ibn Abi Yafur and submit fully to the Imam Ajalallah Farju Sharif by following their command in order to achieve great success in the world and the next after. Allahu Akbar. Now that we have gone through the basic in regards to learning about our holy Imam and being aware of the Imam, we will dwell deeper into the some more crucial issues regarding the Imam Ajalallah Farju Sharif being on the right path and our connection to him. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Chapter 6. How many people will be upon the truth when Imam reappears? Allahu Akbar. There is a misconception among the masses that the period leading to the arrival of the Imam Ajalallah Farju Sharif will be the time which will be easy and that one does not need to work on themselves in order to be on haq. This could not be further from the truth, as when we analyze these narrations pertaining to the blessed reappearance, we see that most people will be debated and they only the loyal Shias will remain on haq. Allahu Akbar. Only the main Shia will be on haq. हर तरफ बदी फैल जाएगी, बस कुछ शिया होंगे जो इमाम पे बिलीव रखेंगे और only the Shia will be on the haq. This does showcase to us that the preparation for Imam is not one that everyone can do, and it will require us to struggle. Allahu Akbar. Very beautifully, we need to believe on this and we need to struggle. We need to know our Imam and we need to get close to him, what he wants. Consistency is abstaining from sin, putting effort in our daily lives and gaining knowledge about the reappearance are a few out of the plethora of the things which will need to be done in order for us to be ready for the arrival. We now take a look at insightful narration regarding the reappearance and how the believer will be tested during this time. Allahu Akbar. We will be tested for this time. Narrated from Hussein ibn Ali that Ali ibn Ali Talib said, from us there are 12 Mahdis. Allahu Akbar. Narrated from Hussein ibn Ali, इमाम हुसैन अलैहि सलाम से कि हज़रत अली अलैहि सलाम ने फरमाया, from us there are 12 Mahdis, the first one of whom is Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. And the last one, who is my ninth descended, and he is truly the Imam al-Qaim. Allah will leaven the earth after its death through him, and through him his religion over all the religion, even if the politics may dislike this. Allahu Akbar. This will be occultation from him, during which communities will rested, but other will remain stand fast on religions. There will be tortured and told, if you are true, when will this promise be fulfilled? Note that one who observed patience during those tribulation will be like one who fight the holy war under the command of the messenger of Allah. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. कि इमाम अली अलैहिस्सलाम ने फरमाया कि हमारे 12 मेहंदी हैं और 9वां मेहंदी आएगा, वो ही मतलब वक्त के इमाम होंगे और जो उनके ज़रिए इस्लाम सही इस्लाम फैलेगा और जो उनके आने का इंतज़ार करेगा और पेशेंट रखेगा और उन पे बलीव रखेगा, वो ऐसे ही होगा जैसे कि उसने अल्लाह ताला के आइमा के साथ, अल्लाह ताला के मैसेंजर के साथ वोट की हो. अल्लाह अकबर. सुभान अल्लाह. I have presented a slightly lengthy but very useful and insightful narration about not only does the Imam discuss the state of the Shias when the Imam will reappear, but the Imam inform us of what will unfold upon his Shias during the period in which the matters will be near. Allahu Akbar. It began where the first Imam explained that there will be 12 Mahdis, the 12th Imam, and now the last will be Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. We once again see this significance of Baqitullah such that we see the first is talking about the last Imam. This alone, okay, last Imam in his blessed hadith. It's demonstrated that even 1400 years ago our holy imams were speaking about our living imam. Allahu Akbar. कि पहले इमाम हमारे 12वें इमाम के बारे में बता रहे हैं 1400 साल पहले. This alone highlights to us the importance of connecting with the Imam Ajalallah Farjur Sharif and knowing about him and his status. The Imam then stated that Allah will elevate the earth with the Imam Ajalallah Farjur Sharif and cause the deen of Allah to spread and flourish over all the religions. If one look at this sentence in further deep, they will notice that there is an implication that the earth will be dead and of no use before the Imam reappearance. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. If it will be elevated with the reappearance, then one can only infer that it will be dead before this. This showcases that corruption will be widespread. Few will be on haq, and that the Imam will bring a revelation when he reappears such that the entire earth will become Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. अल्लाह ताला हमें सबको हक पे रखे, अल्लाह ताला हमें सीधे रास्ते पे रखे, जैसा कि इमाम चाहते हैं हमें वैसा ही बनाए, और वो वक्त हम हक पे हों जब इमाम का ज़हूर हो, हमें अल्लाह ताला हक पे रखे. सुभान अल्लाह. दुनिया में बुराई फैल जाएगी. ये हदीस से यही साबित हो रहा है कि इमाम आएंगे जब हर जगह बुराई फैल जाएगी और वो आके अल्लाह का दीन फैलाएंगे फिर से. बहुत कुछ लोग होंगे जो हक पे होंगे, वो लोग जो इमाम के आने तक सब्र करेंगे, अपने आप का तज्जिया करेंगे, जैसे इमाम चाहते हैं खुद को बनाएंगे. अल्लाह अकबर. Once again, this reconciles and support the point made prior to regarding the fact that we must strive to of those who will be on haq, Allahu Akbar, and those who will support the Imam. The following session of the Holy Hadith is key, which is the reason for why it has been underlined. It states that therefore the time of the reappearance many communities would have obstinate. It is crucial to comprehend, and it is showcased that near the time of the arrival communities will leave Shiism. Allahu Akbar. Today what do we see? We see a new reformist like disease within the Shia community. We see many falling into gulu, and we see many who have pledged allegiance to valuable begun other than the holy Imam Jalallah Farjur Sharif. One must understand that if we hold on to the teaching of the Ahle Bayt and learn who our Imam truly is by the blessing of Allah, we will remain upon the truth. Allah. यहाँ पे ये बताया जा रहा है कि हम जो कुछ अभी देख रहे हैं, यही देख रहे हैं कि बहुत सारे लोग शिया में ही एक दूसरे को गलत बोल रहे हैं, एक दूसरे पे एलिगेंट लगा रहे हैं, अपनी अपनी बातों को सही बोल रहे हैं, और यही आजकल खोल रहा है. ये एक बीमारी है शिया कम्युनिटी में पैदा हो गई, और बहुत ज़्यादा लोग इस बीमारी में आ रहे हैं. पर जिन्होंने अपने इमाम को पहचाना कि who is the truly Imam is, if we learn about him, who is the Imam, and हम उस पे डटे रहें और अपने इमाम के कहे पे अमल करें तो हम इंशाअल्लाह अपने इमाम के आने तक हक पे रहेंगे इंशाअल्लाह। और अल्लाह ताला हमें हिम्मत दे, सब्र दे और इमाम की पैरवी करने वालों में रखे। One must understand, if we hold on to the teaching of the Ahle Bayt and learn who our Imam truly is by the blessing of Allah, we will remain upon the truth. Like I said, कि अगर हम अहले बैत अलैहिस्सलाम की टीचिंग पर अमल करते रहे तो हम इंशाअल्लाह हक पे रहेंगे until हमारे इमाम इस दुनिया में तशरीफ़ लाएं इंशाअल्लाह इलाही आमीन। The hadith then states that the true Shia will remain steadfast, and we must strive to become a part of these Shias inshallah. We need to learn about it. We need to have this in our heart that we want to learn for that. We want to learn about that Imam, and then we need to follow our Ahl Bayt alayhi salam. The fact that many communities will obstate prior to the reappearance given an indication as to how difficult and challenging it will be to remain on Haqq. Allahu Akbar. It will be difficult for us on that time. For the masses will obstate, and only the righteous will be upon the truth. Allahu Akbar. Bishop. The narration then become interesting when our Holy Master Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam explains what will happen to these loyal Shias who remain steadfast upon the truth. Allahu Akbar. He states that this group of Shia will be tortured, Allahu Akbar, and asked when the promise will be fulfilled. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Please listen carefully, because these sentences from Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam explain what will happen to these loyal Shias who remain steadfast upon the truth. He states that this group of Shias will be tortured and asked when the promised Imam will be coming. Allahu Akbar. उन लोगों से पूछा जाएगा, उन्हें टॉर्चर किया जाएगा कि ये वादा कब पूरा होगा कि इमाम ज़हूर करेंगे. Is that not what the Mukhalifin says to us today? Very true. Mukhalifin do ask us when the Imam is coming. This is very true. Is this not what Shias who have said, as well as non-Shia, says to us? In is essence, as the narration states, that will torture us in regard to this issue. Thus knows that if this will ever happen to you, then you are on haq inshallah. Know that if you are stand fast upon your belief and believe firmly in the reappearance of Imam Ajalallah Farju Sharif, then the Holy Imam had already spoken about you in this narration. Allahu Akbar. Presented above, as you will be one of ones who have been tortured due to your belief in the Imam Ajalallah Farju Sharif. Towards the end of the tradition, the Imam states that whoever observes patient while being tortured will be like the one who have fought alongside of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah. This further demonstrates that the Shia at the time must observe extreme patience. Therefore, in the face of verbal or physical abuse or torture, we must know within our hearts that the matter is near and continue observing the patient. If one is also able to defend our holy Imam by argumentation and debates, then this should also be done, however, with precautions. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Imam saying that whoever observe patient, कि जिसने सब्र किया है, वो ऐसे होगा जैसे कि उसने रसूल पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के साथ जंग की हो. फिर और फरमाया कि शिया अगर पेशेंट रखेंगे, अगर उन्हें वर्बल और टॉर्चर किया जा रहा है, फिजिकल टॉर्चर किया जा रहा है, और वो स्टिल पेशेंट के साथ काम करेंगे, तो वो इमाम पे यकीन रखें कि ये टाइम नज़दीक है। और अगर कोई आपके साथ बहस कर रहा है, मतलब कोई पूछ रहा है, तो उससे भी बहस करो, उससे बताओ इमाम के बारे में, पर एहतियात के साथ। Other may have, we must all active carry out something which aids and support the Imam Ajalallah Farjul Sharif. We must be aware that Imam had already spoken about us in this hadith, and we must adhere the holy words of the Imam alayhi salam. We must remain stand fast on this path and believe which our heart and soul in the reappearance, and we shall reap the rewards soon, inshallah. Inshallah, we need to keep believing in our Imam के इमाम ज़हूर फरमाएंगे और हमें इसका अजर मिलेगा. After all, does the Holy Quran not state that bear with patience, and your patience is only because of the help of Allah, and do not grieve over them, nor feel distressed by their evil plans. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah. It's stated in Quran पाक के सब्र करो, बेशक सब्र कर सकते हो अल्लाह की मदद से, और दुखी ना हो, और बैड फील ना करो उनकी बुरे इरादों की वजह से. Although this has specific contents, we know that Quranic verses can be used and applied in multiple cases. These Quranic verses can those that the evil of the mukhalifin will soon be put to the end, and that we must observe patience and endure the trial and tribulation before the relief. Allahu Akbar. Next, we shall take a look at another similar narration regarding this issue, but from a slightly different angle. The ayat which I just read is from Qur'an Pak, Surah 16, and ayat number 127. Ahmad ibn Muhammad bin Said bin Uqda narrated from Hamid bin Ziyad from Ali bin Asaba from Abu Ali al-Hasan ibn Muhammad al-Hadrami from Jafar ibn Muhammad from Ibrahim bin Abdul Hamid from someone that Abu Abdullah Sadiq, Imam Sadiq al-Islam, has said, when Al-Qaim appears, those who have thought themselves as his followers re-obstates, and those who are somehow likes the worshipper of the sun and the moon will believe in him. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. When Al-Qaim appears, those who have thought themselves as his follower This hadith directly supplement and support the tradition present previously, in that it's described that ones who thought themselves to be the follower of the Imam will apostatize, and those who are devoted will begin to believe in him. Allahu Akbar. On the face of it, this seemed to be very baffling and perplexing narration. After all, how would the true devotees of the Imam apostatate, but the ones who worship other than Allah will come to the truth? Allahu Akbar. We need to see what Imam saying, that who believes on Imam, they will be opposite from Imam alayhi salam at that time. And how the other people who worship the sun and the moon we believe on our Imam alayhi salam. This is crucial and must be looked at holistically along other narrations. Looking solely at the hadith in isolation, we see this again. It supports the fact that the so-called Shia for Imam Zamana Islam will apostate near the advent of the reappearance. It implies how, aside from obfuscating before the arrival of the Imam will bring something new to the people in which dispute will occur, therefore causing opposition to the Imam. We must, however, note two things. Firstly, it is to be noted that this does not necessitate and every believer will apostate and that every polytheist will come towards the truth. Secondly, this related to the point that has constantly believed made in religion to submit to the Imam. If the believers begin to impose their own conjecture and opinions onto the Imam Ajal Farj Sharif when he reappears, then this will surely perish. It is therefore incumbent to remain in total submission to the Holy Imam. Allahu Akbar. To support this, we shall take a look to another narration. Ali ibn Ahmad narrated from Abdullah bin Musa al-Wali Alawi from someone from Jafar bin Yahya from his father that Abu Abdullah as-Sadiq has said, how about you when the companions of Al-Qaim set up their pavilions in the mosque of Kufa, and then he Al-Qaim alayhi salam appears with new ideas and new rule, and he will be severe with the Arabs. Allahu Akbar. एक second. And in Behlul Anwar, it is quoted from Irshad al-Qalab of Dalami from Abu Abdullah Sadiq that he said, when the Qaim Ajalallah Farj Sharif arise, he will call the people toward Islam again, and he will guide them by the commands that have become, and the majority of the people have abandoned them and become devoted. The above hadith confirm that aside from those who would have apostatic before the reappearance, many will apostate during the arrival. Why will this happen, you may ask? It is stated that Imam will bring new ideals with a new rule. This showed that the people would have deviated so far from the truth that it will be as if there is a new rule and religion that the Imam will bring. Once again, it showcases that many will turn against the Imam, and this will be due to their incorrect understanding of Allahu Akbar, Tashayyu, and the lack of awareness and recognition of the Imam. Allahu Akbar. हमें फिर इमाम के बारे में जानना चाहिए. यहाँ पे हदीस है कि बहुत लोग इमाम के खिलाफ हो जाएंगे क्योंकि उनके मुताबिक तशय्यो कुछ डिफरेंट होगा, वो कुछ डिफरेंट ही फॉलो कर रहे होंगे. The correct correlate to the previous point made in relation to submitting to the Imam. This is also why I am writing this book, to help the Shias become aware of the Imam Ajal Farj Sharif. Though there is a plethora of hadiths in relation to this topic, we shall take a look at only a few more. Narrated that Imam Ali ibn Hussein alayhi salam said while talking about the Ghabat of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, as for the second period of Ghabat, because there was one Ghabat small and there's second Ghabat. Iteration will be so long such that most of those who accept this matter will turn away from it. Allahu Akbar. So none will remain firm upon this matter except him whose certainty is strong and whose recognition is correct and does not find within himself any narrowness. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I find it difficult to accept in anything that we have decided and submit to us the Ahl Bayt alayhi salam. Allahu Akbar. The above hadith reiterated what has been presented those for in relation to the trials and tribulations that the people will adore such that most will deviate from the truth. The fourth holy Imam emphasizes that this when speaking about the Gabr and inform us that most of those who had accept Wilayah will turn away. Allahu Akbar. Ki who has accepted already, who believe on Imam Zamana alayhi salam, wo badal jayenge. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. कि गहबत इतनी लंबी होगी कि लोग बदल जाएंगे जो इमाम पे यकीन भी रखते हैं वो भी. We see that this is prevalent now more than ever, and so it is incumbent upon us to remain stand fast on our faith in the Imam. This is very important. We must know that he is present and that we must remain firm in our allegiance to the Imam Ajalullah Farj Sharif. हमें अपने यकीन पर कायम रखना है और strong रहना है उस पे. We present another two hadiths in relation to the trial and during the time in which we are in today. It is narrated from Jabir Jufi that he said, I asked Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajum. When will you come to power? He replied, it's a pity that it will not be so till you are all swayed like grain in seaweed to spread it from calf, and then you are sweet again and again. Then there does not remain any impurity, and only the clean grain is left. Allahu Akbar. We see another hadith also narrated, which is very similar. It is narrated from Muhammad Himyari from his father, from Ayub bin Noah, from Abbas bin Amir, from Rabi bin Muhammad Mosli, that he said, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam said to me, by Allah, people will be broken up like glass. However, glass can be joined together again. By Allah, people will be broken up like earthen pots, which of once broken cannot be joined again. Allahu Akbar. By Allah, you people shall be crushed. By Allah, you shall be sowed like wheat in sweet from the jaff. Allahu Akbar. The above two hadiths from Sheikh Tusi Gaba are extremely powerful and once again supplement and spoil what has previously been presented in this chapter. The first hadith stated that people will be shifted and further tested, and then further tested until none but the pure and pious one remain, similar to what it is the case when Shah is sued. The same in the case with anything else. The more it is refined, the pure it becomes. Allahu Akbar. And so the Imam So the Imam is informing us that the trial will be so severe and most of the people will not pass the test, and only the sincere and the pious followers will cease. This will showcase the severity of the trials leading upon the reappearance of our survivor. Allahu Akbar. हमें टेस्ट किया जाएगा. The second hadith is very similar. However, the Imam used the example of glass and delved further into the explanation of the trial and test. It is started. Then, firstly, we will be broken like glass. However, glass can be put together, and the Imam warned us and informed us that we will not be able to put back and will be crushed due to the severity of the trial. Allahu Akbar. These words should pierce the heart of the true believer, and I am brought to utter shock every time I read these hadiths. Again, this signifies and explains the severity of the test, and it is due to this that we must try our best to maintain our faith and connection with the Imam Jalal Farjul Sharif. Allahu Akbar. How will people oppose the Imam? Next, we will look significantly at what the people will do when the Imam reappears, Jalal Farjul Sharif. It is stated that those so-called Shias will use the Holy Quran in order to oppose the Imam, and Allah forbid that we are included within the group. Our narration below will be presented regarding this. Muhammad bin Hammam narrated from Hamid bin Ziyad al-Kufi, from al-Hasan ibn Muhammad bin Suma, from Ahmad ibn al-Hasan from Muhammad ibn Abu Hamza, from some of his companions, that Abu Abdullah as-Sadiq alayhi salam has said, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, Al-Qaim will face in his war more than what the Prophet has faced. Allahu Akbar. Ke Imam Zamana ज़्यादा difficulties देखेंगे more than everybody Hazur Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ने देखी. The prophet came to people while they used to worship stone and wood. जब रसूल पाक आए थे तो लोग पत्थरों और लकड़ियों की पूजा करते थे. Where the people of Al-Qaim will protest against him by the mean of the book of अल्लाह अकबर के लोग कुरान पाक को ही यूज़ करेंगे इमाम के खिलाफ जाने के लिए, और विल फाइट हिम बाय द मीन ऑफ द बुक ऑफ अल्लाह अकबर के वो इमाम के खिलाफ जाएंगे कुरान पाक को ज़रिया बनाते हुए. The narration above is concerning and quite shocking. The Imam used the example of the Prophet and state that the war that Holy Prophet fought will be surpassed by those who will be fought by Imam Zamana. This is very shocking, as well as we are all aware of the extent that the Prophet was tremendous, and it was stated that 1400 years ago people used to worship wood and stones, and so the Prophet was forced to change this. However, at the time of the reappearance, the people will be using the book of Allah. This should be of great concern, as it not only shows that during the time of Imam there will be people using the book of Allah against the Imam, but also that this will be very privileged prior to the blessed arrival. This is because the new dogma and mindset of adding one's own interpretation to the Quran, Allahu Akbar, Tafsir bil Rai, could not suddenly have risen at the exact time of the Imam arrival. Therefore, shows that these events will begin to occur beforehand, and so it is intertwines that with the consent point that has been mentioned throughout this book regarding the fact that we must know the Imam of our time and that we must adhere to the teaching of the Ahl Bayt alayhi salam. I will not narrate the hadith in fear of this session becoming too lengthy. However, we also have a hadith which stated that 16,000 scholars will tell the Imam to return and go back to where he come from when he reappears. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. However, we also have a hadith which stated that 16,000 scholars will tell the Imam to return and go back to where he came from. This is very concerning. Allahu Akbar. As again, most of these scholars will be so-called Shias. Allah. In light of this, we must stand fast on the tradition of the Imams and be firm in our beliefs, lest we become one of the ones who oppose the Imam. Allah Akbar. We must therefore ask ourselves, Are we delaying the arrival of Imam Jalal Farj Sharif? Is the Imam far from us and delayed in the arrival because of our own sins? Allahu Akbar. We must reflect upon this to demonstrate the severity of wrongdoing and how it can delay the holy arrival. We must take a look at some narrations on this topic. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah Ta'ala हमें माफ करे. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah Ta'ala हम सब के सगीरा और कबीरा गुनाह माफ फरमाए और हमें इमाम की अहादीस पे अमल करने की तौफीक अता फरमाए. जैसे हम चाहते हैं हमें वैसा बनाए. अल्लाह ताला हमें नेक सीरत बनाए इंशाअल्लाह, कि हम इमाम के चाहने वालों में हो और उनके इंतज़ार करने वालों में हो. अल्लाह ताला हम सब को राह रास्ते पे चलने की तौफीक अता फरमाए, सीधे रास्ते पे चलने की तौफीक अता फरमाए इंशाअल्लाह. अल्लाह ताला इमाम ज़माना के ज़हूर में तजील फरमाए इंशाअल्लाह. आप अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा इंशाअल्लाह. नेक्स्ट सेशन पे इसके नेक्स्ट चैप्टर के साथ जो कि नंबर 7 होगा, ट्राई करेंगे कि 2 सेशन हम नंबर 7 और 8 नेक्स्ट सेशन में इंक्लूड कर सकें इंशाअल्लाह. और आप दुआओं में बहुत याद रखिएगा कि कहीं मैंने कुछ वर्ड पढ़ने में गलती की हो या कुछ ना समझ आया हो तो उसके लिए माज़रत है. और आप कमेंट में पूछ सकते हैं, अगर कुछ आपको समझ ना आए आप मेंशन कर सकते हो. तो प्लीज़ आपको बताइए आप मुझे कि आपको कैसी सीरीज़ लग रही हैं और आप नेक्स्ट क्या इंफॉर्मेशन हासिल करना चाह रहे हो और मैं क्या आपके साथ शेयर करूँ इंशाअल्लाह. मेरी नेक्स्ट बुक उर्दू में होगी, बट आई विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट कि मैं इंग्लिश की भी बुक्स ऐड किया करूँ इंशाअल्लाह. तो आप अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा और दुआओं में मुझे याद रखिएगा और अपना सब बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा. इमाम ज़माना के ज़हूर में दुआ कीजिएगा. जुम्मे का दिन है और जुम्मे के दिन इमाम ज़माना ज़हूर फरमाएंगे इंशाअल्लाह. और हमें इंतज़ार करना है अपने इमाम का कि इमाम जल्द आएँ और हम सब मुसलमानों की मदद करें इंशाअल्लाह. और सब अल्लाह ताला हर जगह अपने हिफ्ज़ व अमान में रखे सबको. अल्लाह ताला सब मुसलमानों की खैर हो, हर जगह खैर हो इंशाअल्लाह. अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा इंशाअल्लाह. कल इसी बुक के साथ मैं आपके दिल में हाजिर होंगी. अपनी दुआओं में हम सबको याद रखिएगा, मेरी बेटी को याद रखिएगा. फिर मुलाकात होगी ज़िंदगी रही तो इंशाअल्लाह. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.